Good morning. I am Kevin Price. Delighted to be with you. Going to spend some time talking to you about you and your business. And one of the things we like to do here on the program is talk to our friends from different groups. And one of our favorite groups is the Houston West Chamber of Commerce. And I've been involved with that organization now for many years, probably over a decade now that I've been friends of that group, hwcoc.org. I'm a big fan of neighborhood chambers, and I think they make a difference. And I think it's important to have tactical relationships with people. And they've got a relationship with a neat company called Heart of a Woman Spa. And by the way, that's the website to learn more, heartofawomanspa.com. I'm delighted to have Brenda Parker. And I'm assuming, Brenda, you're a new member of that chamber.
I've actually been a member of the chamber for several years.
Oh, cool. Mm-hmm. And you just decided to take your membership to the next level.
Yes. And when I opened the spa, obviously I wanted to be associated with the chamber.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell me a little bit about the spa and its history.
Well, a few years ago, I was vacationing with family, and we were doing our usual Thanksgiving tour, and I wanted to go and visit a spa after all the cooking was completed. And my sister-in-law is a very large woman, and she said she couldn't go to the spa. We chose to go anyway, and she was rejected from the spa, and that kind of hung with me. So I decided to open a spa to celebrate the larger woman as well as the older woman.
That's interesting. And so a place, I want you to elaborate why she couldn't go.
They could not accommodate her on their massage tables. They could not accommodate her for her receiving waxing treatments. Their equipment was it was designed for that size 6'8" woman.
Wow, that's interesting. I never even knew that before.
I didn't either.
And so it's kind of I imagine it's a common problem.
It is.
But it affects, such a sector that apparently is chosen to be silent about it. Obviously, there's a certain amount of shame and embarrassment around it, so they simply stay silent about it. But obviously, it need to be addressed. And so I would assume, are there other spas like yours that are addressing this?
Not that I'm aware of. And that's what I found interesting when I started investigating, do I want to do this? I had no desire actually at that moment to be a business owner. And around that time, I noticed there was an article that came out in the paper for a young lady who was about 250 pounds in the Northeast who was training for a marathon, and she was refused a massage. So I thought, this is quite interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm thinking, though, getting equipment to accommodate this may have been a challenge.
Actually, it wasn't. That's what was so surprising. The equipment is designed for the average size person that they look at from the standpoint of your width and height. But there are extensions that can be placed on all of that equipment as well as large equipment purchased to support that weight.
Really? That's interesting. So you would think this is a pretty interesting niche market in the making.
Absolutely it is.
When did you open this?
December. Of last year. Mm-hmm.
And December of 2014.
Yes.
And so it's obviously really early. We don't want to call it a success, but what kind of response are you getting?
We're getting a wonderful response. I'm amazed at when people come in, they're surprised at, first of all, how they're greeted, how they're treated throughout the whole process, not just from the reception to the equipment, how they're receiving their treatments, but in our relaxation space in the back, we have these huge lounge chairs that they can actually fit on them. And they're comfortable with that. They can get on something and they're not hanging over the side.
That's interesting. And so that's interesting. What part of I think I saw Sugarland on the website.
Correct.
What part of Sugarland are you in?
We're on University and Highway 6 near
University
Highway 90.
And Highway 6 near Highway 90. That's a very, very center hub part of Sugarland.
Absolutely. Not just for Sugarland, but easy access from Houston as well as Katy.
Yeah. Are people coming from around Houston to check you out?
We're seeing more people currently in Sugarland and from the Katy area. We'd love to get more people from Houston area.
Yeah. The reality is Houston has, one of the larger obese populations in the country. And so to me, being the fourth largest city in America with one of the largest populations like that, it would seem like a great marketplace for it. And what I like about it is that it gives an opportunity for people to feel better about themselves. And if they feel better about themselves, in this area, and if they're able to change their lives, and that becomes a way of addressing obesity, man, that's cool. I think that's awesome.
And that's the exact philosophy we have. If you bring a woman in, you give them a wonderful facial experience. It's not just your typical facial. They feel good about themselves that they can even have that. You give them this great massage, lash extensions, all those different things that we do. then we can move them forward to a healthier lifestyle, because you're right. They look in the mirror and they see someone beautiful that they may not have seen before. So from there, if they're open to it, we have them do lifestyle assessments, and we take them in baby steps. So what would you like to do to improve your life? Not get you from a 22 to a size 2, but what can you do to make yourself healthy?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's fantastic. And so how big is the facility?
It's about 3,000 square feet.
That's great. Mm-hmm. Very cool. Mm-hmm. And in terms of getting the word out, what kind of things are you doing to get the word out to potential customers?
We're doing the usual social media, especially we are obviously with the chamber. I'm going out marketing to the different weight loss clinics, gyms, a lot of women's groups and things like that.
Yeah, very good, very good. And tell us a little bit about, what the experience is like, when you go.
That's an interesting question, because not only do we have women, but we also have men. And I'm really impressed with when men come through. We had a gentleman come through this past weekend who'd never been to a spa. His wife bought him the package. He was going to receive a facial and body massage, and he was very uptight. He went in. I greeted him when he came through. When he came out, it was a completely different person. He said he'd never had anyone touch his face that way before. He was in love with the facials. He was in love with his massage, and he booked his return appointments, obviously, to come back. And we see that also with our women as well. We've had people who say, I've had terrible experiences at spas. They come through. They are thrilled at the pampering, not only just for the treatments, but even between treatments, after treatments that we do for them. Sitting in the back, having a mimosa, having a nice little snack, a cup of tea, whatever that may be, to make them feel truly special.
Brenda Parker, she's been our guest. She's with Heart of a Woman Spa. That's heartofawomanspa.com. Thanks to the Houston West Chamber of Commerce for bringing you today. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you, and I'd like to announce our grand opening March 28th.
Well, we're glad you did, and look forward to getting future reports on how you're doing.
Thank you.
All right, when we come back, much more for you. I do want to remind you, best content here does show up over there at USAToReview.com. While there, like it on Facebook, follow it on Twitter.